Public service announcement. Just because you arrive at the hospital in an ambulance does not mean you're going to jump to the head of the pack. Let me explain. You see, when you call an ambulance and you tell them that you want to go to the hospital, they have to take you. They're not allowed to refuse you. It's kind of unfortunate, really, and in my opinion, one of the many things broken with the system. Hold on a second. Are you trying to say that I shouldn't call an ambulance if I'm hurt or sick? No. Far from it. What I'm trying to say is that the 911 system in this country is grossly abused and nobody seems to be talking about it. Trust me, I'm not going to be making any friends with this video. Okay, well, explain. Okay, well, I think first you'd be surprised at how many people actually call the ambulance that don't need one. You see, the whole point of calling an ambulance is so that you can get pre-hospital life-saving care en route to the hospital. So the sore throat that's been bugging you for 6 days that you finally decided to do something about at 12 o'clock at night on a Tuesday doesn't necessarily constitute an emergency, does it? Okay, but that stuff doesn't really happen, does it? I once got called at 4:30 in the morning for a guy that said he stabbed himself in the finger with a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. And he said, I quote, "I don't need to go to the hospital. I just wanted to know if I should put a Band-Aid on it or not." Yeah, true story. So if it's not a life-threatening emergency and you don't need care on the way to the hospital, you may want to consider having a friend drive you or calling a cab or driving yourself. But if you decide to ignore all my advice and call the ambulance anyway, you're not going to jump to the front of the line. In fact, when you get through the doors, you're going to have to meet something called the triage nurse. The triage nurse job is to assess patients coming in the door and determine where they fall on the hierarchy of care. Once you've been triaged and it's determined that you're not dying and there are other people in front of you that could potentially be dying, guess where you're going to go? The waiting room. And you're probably going to be there for a while. Because unlike Starbucks, it's not a first come, first served basis. It goes off of priority, necessity. The most life-threatening down to the least life-threatening. And that's why it's called an emergency room. But when all's said and done, you call the phone, we're going to show up because that's what we do. But if it takes us an hour to get there, instead of screaming at us, think about the fact that this is the kind of stuff we have to deal with. Please like and subscribe and tell me in the comments your most ridiculous call. I'd love to hear it.